because there's so much stigma around it already. But in reality, it's such a beautiful thing that can really enrich and up-level all of our lives when we do choose to take advantage of it.
You're listening to the WELLthy Woman podcast, and I am your host and WELLthy mentor, Dr. Michelle. My mission is to empower conscientious women entrepreneurs to create a life full of abundance, purpose, health, wealth, and joy. In this podcast, you'll learn how to elevate your health, lifestyle, and surroundings so you can tap into your power, show up more confidently, and focus on what really matters. Sharing your gifts, better serving your clients, and showing up even more for the people you love. This is today's businesswoman, the WELLthy woman. Hey there, and welcome to another episode of the WELLthy Woman podcast. This episode is brought to you by Organo. So adding reishi-infused coffee and tea has been one of the best things I've done in the past year to upgrade my health. Reishi is one of the most scientifically researched herbs on the planet. I studied it for years in school, and it's one of the most powerful adaptogens. It has benefits like immune boosting, stress relief, liver protection and regeneration, improved circulation, energy boosting, protection against radiation, free radicals, and other environmental stressors. It has anti-inflammatory effects, and it's loaded with antioxidants. You know, a lot of women hear mushrooms and think that this product's going to taste bad, but it's seriously delicious. I literally drink it every single day. So if you want to try some for yourself, grab some samples at wealthywoman.co/organo. That's ORGANO. Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of the WELLthy Woman podcast. I'm your host, Michelle, and today I have a very, very special guest for you. Asti Maree is a female empowerment coach who turns high-achieving women into sensual and desirable goddesses so they can manifest confidence, desirability, passion, and a turn-on for life. Using a combination of spiritual practices and logic modern psychology, she has now made it her mission to empower other women to live their full potential by claiming back their sexual pleasure, their sexual passion, and their divine sexual power. This episode was really juicy, so I cannot wait to hear what you think. So welcome, Asti. Awesome. Welcome, Asti. I'm so excited to have you on the show. You are just an amazing powerhouse woman, and I cannot wait to introduce you to my audience.
Hey, gorgeous. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
So aside from your bio, I'm going to tell everybody about you. They've already heard a little bit about you, but tell us more about how you got to where you are and what you are doing now.
So I guess my story is quite interesting. The lead up of events that brought me to where I am today. So basically, I guess my female, like my empowerment journey began with pole dancing. So I began pole dancing, and that was almost like my first little like foot in the door and taste of what it felt like to be a sexually empowered woman. And that later led me into the path of stripping, which I still do occasionally, and that's been 8 years now. But I learned so many lessons along the way, not only about myself and being able to tap into my own sexual power and to use that for my own good, but also witnessing around me the reactions of other people. So the one thing that I noticed the most was women would react to me the same way that they were reacting to their own sexual energy. So I'd either have women who would come up to me and be like super excited and intrigued by it and like wanting to know all the little details, or there would be women who were completely triggered by me and I was slut shamed like a lot. So I found it really fascinating that people still were so uncomfortable with their own sexuality and their own feminine power. And that was kind of where I like got the spark of inspiration, where I was like, this is my thing. This is what I need to focus on. And now I coach women to reconnect to their own sexual essence, their own femininity, and their own sexual power. because there's so much stigma around it already. But in reality, it's such a beautiful thing that can really enrich and up-level all of our lives when we do choose to take advantage of it.
I'm like already reeling with questions for you. This is going to be such a juicy episode.
I know, there's so many avenues you could go down.
Seriously. I guess I'm so curious because I think that a lot of women can relate to what you were saying about there's this almost like this black and white, like either women get super excited and like almost activated by like that story and that experience that you've had, and then other women get really negatively triggered and have almost like a constricting sort of closing down, shutting down, right? And I guess
it's interesting actually, because I don't think it's either or. I actually kind of saw it together, so simultaneously in one person. Like there'd be a huge part of one woman who was saying no, like you can't do this, like this is dirty, it's disgusting, it's shameful. And that's all of the social conditioning that she would have picked up over a lifetime, or being passed on from her generation, from her family, like her generation before her. Or there was a part of her that was really excited by the whole thing and really intrigued and like kind of like turned on and like wanted to know more. And that kind of came together, both within the same woman. So it was her own natural instinct and her own natural curiosity, and then the conditioning layered on top of that. So it was almost like an inner battle that she was having with herself.
Oh, I like got the chills. Yeah, I can relate to that. I think a lot of women can relate to that. Just having that almost like that tug of war inside of you.
And that's how I felt my entire, like, all of my teen years. That's exactly how I felt. So with pole dancing, I chose to say yes to it, and I chose to go down that avenue, and I felt amazing doing it. But at the same time, I had this huge piece of me that just felt really ashamed and really guilty. I didn't want to tell anybody I was doing it. I was so scared to tell my boyfriend I was pole dancing. It was scary. Like simultaneously the scariest and the most empowering thing I'd done.
And then you've taken this experience and you've created an empowerment coaching program or experience for women to kind of get past this. Like, tell me more about that and what that is like. Like, what is a sexual empowerment coach? Like, what is that?
Yeah. So I do have a program. It's called Doorway to Desire, and I work with women over 12 weeks. So we go through 4 different parts. The first part, I like to kind of go back into the past and give them the space to heal and let go of all of the trauma and conditioning and all the limiting beliefs that they're holding on to, not necessarily just around their sexuality, but around their beliefs about themselves and the beliefs that they hold on to around what it means to be a woman. So we go back and we release all of the conditioning and everything that's holding them back so that they can only step back into their truth. And then I go into the next phase of creating really strong foundations to support. Really necessary for us to feel a sense of love, a sense of safety, and a sense of belonging before we can thrive in this world. Those are our 3 fundamental needs, which is really important in sexuality because, like I was saying with myself, like, for an example, like wanting to try pole dancing, there was a big part of me that didn't want to do it because I felt like if I committed to it and I put myself out there and I did it, I wouldn't be loved and I wouldn't be accepted by society. So if you can tap into a sense of love and a sense of self-love and cultivate that from within, you're giving yourself that need. So you no longer rely on it from other people, meaning you can make decisions that are in alignment with your truth and you can commit to them 100%, knowing that even if the people around you don't love you for it and they don't support you in it, you have that sense of love and support within yourself. So the love is really important. But then going into safety, this is really fascinating actually, because all of us, like I'm sure you can kind of resonate with this a little bit, like feeling unsafe within your sexuality, feeling like it's going to attract kind of attention or maybe potentially get you in danger. But safety is really, really important because for a woman to actually experience orgasm, the part of your brain that looks out for danger actually needs to completely shut down and go offline. So it's a part in the frontal cortex, the amygdala, and to actually surrender into orgasm, that needs to go completely offline. So feeling safe in your body, feeling safe with your partner, feeling safe in your surroundings. And again, you can learn to tap into that sense of safety from within. It's something that you can offer yourself. It's not something that you should rely 100% on from the people around you. Yeah. Okay. Well, now
so
I'm like off track. What was I
powerful.
talking about? The 4 steps. That's like number 2. So it's 12 weeks. You can tell how jam-packed it is. So the next thing we go into is embodiment. So activating at the core level and embodying that woman that you think that you need to be a sexually empowered woman. So really tapping into her energy and feeling what it's like to live as her. Like, how does she live her day? How does it feel inside your body? The different energies and the different emotions, really, really tapping into that on a deeper core level. And then I go into kind of like more into like the future. So planning, building a more conscious relationship with your partner or manifesting your dream relationship. And then more like practical tools and techniques to enhance pleasure and to enhance orgasm. Yeah. So it's a really, really juicy 12 weeks.
That's so awesome. How would you, like with your experience in working with women, how do you see or experience these women's transformations in other areas of their life? Like, how does this sexual empowerment affect, say, their business, and also like their relationships and dynamics in, friendships? Like, how do you see that this is translating?
So most of what I do as a whole, it's all about coming back into the body. So the feminine is very embodied. And our sexual energy, our feminine essence, that's all very much in our body. So we as women have been kind of conditioned to live our lives very much up in our heads in like, I guess, a more like masculine run world, which is very like structured and planning and do. Especially women who are entrepreneurs. So working, hustling, grinding every day, it's all in your head, right? And this is also where all of your self-doubts and your ego and your fears and your limiting beliefs are all stored as well. So as soon as you learn to tap back into the energy of your body, you have a really true sense of coming home, and you can ground into a deeper level of love and self-worth, disconnected from all the self-doubts. So it not only makes you more empowered in your sex life, but it makes you more empowered in making and more empowered decisions in friendships and in business as well. So I see women thrive in all areas of their lives.
I love
But I always say, like, for women, we're most traumatized and wounded and pulled out of alignment on a sexual level. So if you want rapid healing and rapid transformation, it's really powerful to go straight to the root of most of our wounding, and that is within our sexuality. So if you start to heal that and realign our sexual essence, everything else kind of just like moves into alignment from that. It's like a domino effect.
I don't know why I just got a visualization of like the chakras and like saying, going straight to the root, and you think about the root chakra and the second chakra and how intertwined those are with like our sexual organs and our creativity and like all our sexuality and all of that. That's so interesting.
Yeah. And our sexual energy, it's our life force energy. It's the most powerful energy within us. So when we can activate that, like the power within that can change everything. And we do when we say sexual energy, most people would just think like sex and arousal and turn on, but our sexual energy is our creative life force energy. Like it can create babies, but if you're not using it to create babies, you can use it to create, to manifest dreams and desires and build businesses and everything else that you could ever imagine.
Yes. I think I've seen you post about this. I know I've seen other people post about this, but speaking of the creative process, can you speak on orgasmic manifestation?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Do you know what?
What?
I actually told you about this at the beginning of the call, but I'll just like let everyone know. So I'm actually in the Greek islands at a self-led retreat with a whole bunch of sex, love, and relationship coaches. The most incredible week. But it's funny that we're having this conversation right now because today, after this call, actually, we're starting our day with a group sex magic manifestation ritual.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So we're going to have hot cacao to start off the day. And then it's like, basically, it's like a group masturbation session where we cultivate all of our sexual energy together and put it out into the universe to manifest everything that we desire.
Oh
it's so juicy.
Amazing.
So I do have a podcast on this which explains it in a little bit more detail. But
we'll link to it.
Yeah, basically to explain it like quite quickly. So your sexual energy is really powerful and you can use it to manifest. But how it kind of works is you're able to, again, tap into your body and disconnect from your mind. So let's just say you're doing a meditation. If you sat down and you closed your eyes and just started to visualize whatever it is that you want to manifest, and you haven't given your time to really sit in your body and become really present in this moment, you'll be visualizing your desire, but within that visualization, you're still going to be sitting in the state of lack or having your limiting beliefs and fears and self-doubts piled on top of that vision. So by going into the body and tapping into your sexual energy, you're able to tap into an altered state of reality that's disconnected from your current reality, which automatically aligns you and up-levels your vibration to that of your desire. So it's almost like it just pulls you right up into alignment with whatever it is that you want to create or pull in, and just makes it like so much faster because there is no limiting beliefs or self-doubts within that space.
That totally makes sense just from what you were saying. Like when women orgasm, you have to be completely safe. You have to turn off like that danger signal, right? And so I guess in that sense, it almost literally clears that path like entirely.
Yeah. So if you just sat down, you're like, hey, I want to manifest my dream relationship, and you just close your eyes and you're thinking about like this Mr. Dream guy. You'll be thinking about him, but your conscious mind is going to be continuously going back and forwards between like, yeah, amazing. Oh, but I can't have that. Yeah, like this is awesome. Oh, but I'm not worthy of that. Whereas if you really tap in deep into that deeper level energy, there's no self-doubt, there's no questioning it, and your manifestation is right there. It's like a quantum manifestation. Like it's like the smallest step to get there. It just pulls it so much closer and makes it so much more easy to manifest.
Sounds fascinating. I'm curious. So I'm going to kind of tweak this question a little bit. I was going to ask you, how do you stay motivated when things don't go as planned? But instead I want to ask you, what do you do when you're, not feeling sexual? How can you utilize these tools of like orgasmic manifestation? How can you really tap into your sexuality when, a lot of entrepreneurial women are so preoccupied with running a business or running a household or, distracted, right? Like, how do you kind of recenter and ground yourself to allow that energy to flow again?
So this is really important. And for myself, being an entrepreneur, I find that if I have a really busy day of work, like sitting at my laptop, taking a lot of client calls, I'm like sitting still for such a long time, like my energy kind of becomes stagnant and living my day mostly up in my mind. It's really important to tap back into the body. So I would have a space of time in between work and my personal time afterwards to kind of like release everything that I've been holding on to throughout the day and to tap back into my sexual energy. So the easiest way that you can do this is to get up and dance, get up and move your body, because when you become stagnant, that sexual energy, it stops moving and it becomes still and lifeless. But if you get up and move your body, you can shake that up again and allow your body to open and expand and allow a free flow of feminine energy to move throughout you again. So really just even getting up and shaking, you can shake your body and shake your hands and just like shake off kind of like the heaviness and the ickiness from the day and let it go back into the earth to be recycled. And then set the intention to tap back into love or your feminine essence or whatever it is that you feel like you need in that moment, and dance and celebrate that. So that's my favorite way. And also having a shower, because water is really feminine and sensual and soft. And it offers us obviously like a sense of like of cleansing. So cleansing off your day before going into your personal life after work. So yeah, dancing and having a really beautiful sensual shower.
I love that. Awesome. Okay. So good. What book or person has inspired you the most, whether or not it is in regards to what you're currently doing or where you're at in your life? What comes to mind?
So I guess I have to say Layla Martin. She's actually who I did my studies through. And she, I guess, was the first person that I looked up to as a sexual empowerment coach. She's incredible. So she's who I studied with the group of women who I'm here with in Greece now. So that's kind of how we all got together and met each other through her course.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. But she's incredible. She's so amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. What is the most terrifying, risky, or profound decision that you've ever had to make in regards to your business?
To be honest, I don't think there's anything too risky. I like, if I want to do something, I just do it. Nothing's ever felt risky because I've always felt really in alignment with what I'm doing. I guess terrifying for me, public speaking.
I feel you there.
That's been the scariest thing for me. So, yeah. I used to be so terrified of getting up in front of an audience and speaking. And I think working on my throat chakra has been like the most empowering thing for me personally. And doing Instagram lives.
You're so good at them.
It's so funny, like that's it, but that's honestly like the scariest thing for me. Like I can dance naked in front of people, I can teach sex magic, I can like teach people about sex and orgasm, but then just like the public speaking part, I'm like but it's interesting because I knew that I wanted to do it because I wanted to share my message.
Right.
My face was there and I just did it, and it's surprising when you just commit to something that you're afraid of how quickly you get over it.
Oh my gosh. And how much like transformation happens when you do that too, and you really lean into that. It's like amazing.
Because I was in New Zealand last month and I spoke in front of about 100 people, and I feel a little bit nervous at the start, but then as soon as I get into it, it kind of disappears and I get so excited and so passionate about it that the passion almost just takes over.
Yes.
And I really enjoy it. And I've even had people come up to me and say, like, that was amazing. Have you done like a public speaking course?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I totally feel you, like with that like excitement that happens. I feel like there's such a fine line between excitement and anxiety. It's like, it's really how you frame it.
Because it means so much to you. So you're like, I just want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
But this does go a little bit deeper. So it's interesting with my story because I kind of only realized this last year that my whole life I was told that I was beautiful. So I remember from like the age of 10 having guys hit on me and just like having those little comments where that became my truth of me just being a beautiful girl or a beautiful woman. But as well as that, I was told my whole life that I wasn't intelligent. So my dad is dyslexic. I don't know if I have dyslexia, but growing up I had learning difficulties with reading, writing, and spelling. So I really struggled in school, and I was told by teachers that there were certain things that I wouldn't be able to do. Just kind of little like I was like hassled a lot because of it. And I like one moment in particular stands out when my dad asked me what I wanted to do when I'm older. And I was like, I want to be on the news. I want to read the news out on TV. And straight away, and I know he didn't mean it, and this was only because of his own upbringing and his experiences with his learning difficulties, but straight away he was like, you're not going to be able to do that because you can't read.
Oh my gosh,
and I just
heartbreaking.
remember feeling so shut down. And I was like, oh. So yeah, my whole life being taught that I'm unintelligent, my whole life being taught that I was beautiful, I think that's what really pushed me in the direction of becoming a stripper. And I didn't realize this till like last year. So I, up until then, I always thought like, oh my God, like I became a stripper, I overcame my body confidence issues, it's the best thing that I ever did. And I thought that was me becoming really empowered. But what I didn't realize is in doing that, I was actually running away from the thing that I did really need to face. And that was tapping into and embodying and believing in my my intelligence and my own wisdom. So that's kind of the journey that I've been on the last year, believing in myself in that aspect. And I guess the public speaking had a huge piece to do with that.
Wow. So healing.
Yeah. Because I could get up on stage and dance naked, or walk up to someone and ask if they want a lap dance, because I knew that I was beautiful, and I knew that I was going to blow their mind with that. But standing in front of someone and talking about something like what I'm doing now and trying to educate people, I still doubted myself, and I questioned whether I was going to be offering enough value, if it was going to be good enough, if I was going to come across smart or intelligent enough. I still didn't have that deep knowing, so it didn't feel as comfortable. But that comes with practice, and that's where I am now.
So many growing experiences.
Totally.
Has your health ever come between you and your business or your practice?
Yeah, so nothing too serious, but I guess more so in the beginning of my business, I was still dancing full time, and then I was trying to create a business during the day, and I was just exhausted, like dancing all night till like 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning, and then trying to like write emails and create content the next day just does not work.
Oh my goodness.
So I really learned to put myself first, to make sure that I'm looking after myself before I look after my business. First and foremost, that's the most important thing.
What does that look like? Like, what does that look like for you? Like, what are your self-care practices? How do you recharge? What are your non-negotiables?
So I don't really have that many non-negotiables. Like, it changes day to day depending on skill. I guess the only one would really be 8 hours of sleep. Like, I'm so fussy about my sleep. Like, it has to be 8 hours.
Me too.
And I hold really, otherwise I just can't really function. And day to day, so I try and put myself first. So like, I went through a stage where I had my email on my phone, my business email, and I would like unconsciously be like tapping into it and then like reading emails first thing in the morning, like sometimes still from being in bed. I'd be out with a friend like checking work messages. So that's actually another non-negotiable. I've deleted both of my email accounts from my phone, so when I'm like off work hours, I'm not looking at work. Like, I need to have that time in the day that it's all about me and giving myself time to fill up my own cup first, because as a coach, you have to be feeling 100%. You have to be feeling full in order to give energy to your clients. Because if I'm not feeling good within myself, I can't make other people feel good about themselves. So I guess that is my non-negotiable, like putting myself first, but the way in which I do it changes day to day.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm assuming you're probably just tapping into your body, like getting in alignment, getting in tune with what your body needs that day or even that moment. And maybe it's dance and maybe it's whatever. But
yeah, like sometimes it'll be dance, sometimes I'll do a jade egg practice, a self-pleasure practice. Sometimes it's just meeting up with a girlfriend and going to the beach or having a sauna with a girlfriend and having that time connecting to the feminine, because that's really, really powerful. And other times it's me staying in bed all day watching Netflix.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Oh, love it. So good. And I feel like this kind of bleeds into the next question too, you know, like how, like tricks or hacks around keeping you focused and productive, you know, during a super busy schedule, right? You're I mean, I see your Instagram all the time. You're traveling all the time. I mean, you've got a ton of clients you're managing, and I'm assuming, you know, going back to that self-care, filling up your cup first really has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
And with tricks and hacks, I guess one thing that I do that really helps me is I try and kind of like put blocks together, like it's a block of time together where I'll like smash out a whole lot of work. So like I won't like mix up my day. So I won't have like a podcast and a client session and then try write an Instagram post. I try and keep everything blocked together. So I'll have like my days off, and then one day I might do like a whole bunch of podcasts. One day I might just focus on writing Instagram posts. And then one day I might just do client calls. And this has actually helped me a lot. I found it really difficult waking up and being like, oh my God, I haven't posted on Instagram. I need to write something out now. And like, I'll be like forcing myself to write something every day. I found it really helpful when I'm in the creative flow to just let it flow and to write and write and write, and maybe write like 5 or 6 posts in one sitting, because it takes a little while to tap into that creative energy. But once you're there, everything just flows and you might as well use it. So getting into that flow day and just using it and like smashing it out while you can, instead of like dipping your toe into this and then into this and into this. I feel like energetically it's quite exhausting going from one project to another, back and forth. So I kind of like to stick to one thing for like an extended period of time. That really helps me.
I'm actually really, really similar to that too. Like time chunking is so huge. I can't remember the exact research, but I think you waste, like 17 minutes each time you change a task, like the type of task that you're doing. So when you think about people who are kind of jumping from one thing to the next, it's just like, you know, anyway. But
probably more when you work from home, because in between you're like, I'll make a cup of tea. I'll have a look what's in the fridge. I need to put the washing on.
Yes. Exactly. Oh, it's too funny. Okay. Top 3 blogs or podcasts that you cannot imagine your day without.
So I love. Actually, you know Katie Pasternak, don't you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love her podcast. She's such a powerhouse.
She is. I want her to start.
It comes to all things business.
I want her to start recording again. It's been too long.
Yeah, I haven't listened to all of them, so I go back and catch up. But
she's awesome.
Just amazing, amazing. So I worked with her as a business coach last year. So I love everything that she does.
Me too. I love her.
I also love Feminine as Fuck. So Monica Yates is actually one of my good friends now, but we met just over doing a podcast interview. She's incredible, and I'm actually co-hosting a retreat with her later in the year. But she's
awesome.
So incredible. She's a period coach. So she helps women sync their periods and get in touch with their bodies and cultivate and learn the different powers that they have at different times of their cycle. Just so incredible.
So cool.
And another interview that I've done recently which I really love this podcast, is the love theory. So she talks about manifesting your dream life and manifesting your dream relationship. But she has she's just so incredible in the amount of knowledge that she has on this topic. Just some really juicy stuff. Yeah, she's amazing.
Oh, I love learning about new podcasts.
Oh, there's so many. There's so many amazing ones.
So many.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, if you had a little magic in your pocket, what is one thing that you would change in the world?
One thing that I changed. Sorry. I would love to see everyone just living in their truth, living in their innate essence and living in their true power, away from all the limiting beliefs and self-doubts and shitty conditioning that's been put on us. If everyone could tap into their truth, everyone would be living from a place of love. And I feel like there wouldn't be so much fakeness in the world and trying to impress each other. So we'd have so much more connection, and everyone would just be able to do incredible things with their lives and feel incredible about themselves. That would be, amazing.
Let that sink in for a second. I like that one. That's a good one.
So many people, actually all of us, we all go around day to day believing that we're not enough, we're not good enough. Totally. And we put on all these masks and all these layers trying to impress other people, but in putting up all these masks and all these layers, we actually just disconnect ourselves from everybody.
For sure. And it's so, it's like everybody feels this void and everybody wants that connection, yet there's these walls, these protective mechanisms that we put into place that just detach us from everything around us. And then we get detached from nature, and we're trying to constantly fill these voids with, social media and crazy, horrible stories and news, and getting distracted by so much crap that's just creating so much more weight, so much more detachment. Ugh. Let's shake that off. Okay. I know, right? It was okay, what is your current project or passion?
So I'm actually starting to put together some online courses. So I do have sex magic, so I've been coaching a few women, coaching women for a while now, and I can kind of see patterns that come up over and over again with a lot of women. So I want to kind of condense all of this into an online course that can just be downloaded. So that's something that I've been writing up and putting together over the last couple of days, which I'm super excited about.
Like a DIY kind of do it yourself, own pace kind of course?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I really want to record all of the meditations that I take my clients through. So I do that in person, but I would love to have it all just there. So it's just there whenever people want to use it, and they can just download the work and use it in their own time when they feel like they need it.
That sounds awesome. That's so exciting. We'll definitely, I'll let my audience know when that comes out for sure. When are you thinking that's going to be available?
I don't know. It's in the next month. So
nice.
Don't put pressure on me.
I won't. I'm whoa. No pressure, promise.
Well, I'm in the best creative space here in Greece, so I feel like it'll be put together pretty quickly. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Cool.
I just want everyone to have these tools and then to be really easily accessible, because not everyone can do coaching or afford a coach. So I want everyone to have access to this in some way or another.
Totally. And I feel like there's a lot of people too who, there is so much, shame and embarrassment or whatever around seeking out that type of care and help and support, and to have that accessible in the privacy of your own home or whatever, I think is such a huge gift that you're giving people.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's amazing. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to share with my audience?
I don't know. I guess if people want to know a little bit more about what I do have a free e-booklet. So this is all about tapping into desire and tapping into and embodying the most desirable version of yourself. And it goes through 4 different practices and steps that you can do to do so. And yeah, it's amazing. I've had lots of good feedback on it.
Yay.
So if you want to know a little bit more about what I do without actually committing to a coaching package straight off the bat, that's a good way to get a little taste of what I do.
That'd be awesome. We'll link to that. I'm assuming you have a special link that we can put on the show notes for that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. So I know that these women are going to want to find you. So where can they find you?
Yeah. So on Instagram, it's asti, ASTI.Maree, MAREE. I also have a Facebook group, which is Sass and Soul Uncensored. So it's a group where we can take the conversations a little bit deeper, and where women can come to for a safe space to ask for support in different things they might be struggling with in their own lives.
That's awesome.
Or email at hello@astimaree.com.
Perfect. And your website, you also offer, you have a shop, you have some pretty cool stuff on your website too. Tell us a little bit about that.
I have a shop. I have a shop of the pleasure treasures. So I sell jade eggs, pleasure wands, healing wands, butt plugs. So lots of fun stuff on there. My website is astimaree.com. So yeah, there's a link to the shop on there, also the free guide, a little bit more about me and what I do, and the coaching packages as well. So everything that you want to know is on my website.
Perfect. One thing I love about your shop too, just with the sex toys and stuff, I love from a natural perspective, like they're all non-toxic. And that's something that I think is really important to point out, because I think there's a lot of really poor quality toys out there. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So everything that I sell, I sell jade eggs, obviously made from jade. There's an obsidian wand, and then the other ones are made from glass. And I love glass. Like when I first thought about using glass, I wasn't really sure about it, but it actually, it offers a really nice sensation, the glass, because it is really smooth, the surface of it. And if you are using lube, it doesn't soak up the lube or your natural lubricant. So you don't get any dryness. Whereas like silicone, it's porous, so it sucks in the lube.
Right.
So you have to keep reapplying, which you end up using a lot of it. And because it's porous as well, it actually there's little pockets in the surface of those toys that bacteria can thrive in. So, and there's no way that you can clean it. You can rinse it and rinse it and rinse it, and it won't be clean. Whereas glass, because it's non-porous, you can just rinse it under hot water and you're good to go. With the jade egg, you can even boil it. So super easy to clean and feels amazing. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love that you offer those. Yeah. It's kind of like a one-stop shop, and like you don't have to worry about having to think about different materials and all of that stuff that can just be kind of overwhelming for people. Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah. And there's a toy for everyone. There's a good little range there.
Yay. Well, Asti, thank you so much for hanging out and having this awesome conversation. I'm sure a lot of people are just like mind blown, like, wait, what? What did we just talk about? Like, what is happening? I need to learn more about this. So I'm so excited for people to check you out, and I cannot wait to see what you've got in store for us coming up.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me, gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. What a juicy episode. I hope that you loved it. I just love chatting with Asti. I was on her podcast a few months back, and it was super fun. We were talking about female hormones and things like that. But one thing I really loved about this particular episode was what she was talking about around getting your libido back and like tapping back into that female sexuality, because I feel like a lot of women entrepreneurs, a lot of women that I talk to every single day just say that it's not there. Like they just don't have it. It's gone. Like their partners are like raring and ready to go and they're just kind of not into it, right? And so I just loved like her recommendation around just tapping back into your body, moving your body, dancing, doing yoga, like really feeling into your body and reconnecting with that yourself. All right, so if you found this episode helpful, if you found and wrote down some amazing gems, got some ideas, some insights, please share it with someone you love. Take a screenshot, show us you're listening, shout out to Asti Maree and to me, and we will share your photos. All right, so tune in next week for more awesome and actionable info. I will chat with you then. All right, ladies, thank you for listening to another transformational episode. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? You know my mission is to help inspire and empower women to share their gifts, better serve their clients, and show up even more for the people they love. So if you enjoyed this episode, leave an awesome review so more women can find us and join us in creating a life of wealth.